The idea of 3D printing our buildings is nothing new. Faced with a desperate need to construct more homes faster and in a more efficient way, countless innovators have found themselves drawn by the idea of being able to quickly print a structure, and have spent years trying to scale the technology. But for all their efforts, that 3D printed world has proven elusive, and many impressive prototypes have struggled to become viable for mass production. But things have just taken a massive step forward in Germany with the completion of the first ever 3D printed home to become fully certified under a national government's building regulations. The impact of this moment for construction and for the buildings we all use could be huge. With the promise of cutting waste, reducing time on site and addressing labour shortages, some see 3D printing as the answer to many of our world's challenges. Originally used for small-scale prototypes, advances in 3D printing have led to the creation of full-scale structures like bridges and homes, and even plans for mankind's first Martian base. But while 3D printed structures have appeared around the world, from Canada and the Netherlands to Dubai, which wants to 3D print a quarter of its new buildings by 2030, the technology is yet to take off as a widespread building technique. But the completion of this 3D printed house in Beckum, Germany is set to change everything. Developed by leading formwork and scaffolding firm PERI, experts in its disruptive products and technologies department and its project partners, the structure, a detached single-family property, is the first 3D printed house in Germany and offers 160 square meters of living space across its 2 stories. Critically, the structure is the first 3D printed building in Germany to become certified with a national building accreditation, smashing a major barrier and paving the way for larger, more complex projects. Located just outside the city of Ulm, PERI's team is now working on the largest 3D printed multi-family house in Europe, with 380 square meters of living space divided into 5 apartments across 3 levels.
So how did PERI get into the world of 3D printing?
Here at PERI we have, let's call it a think tank. It's a department called Disruptive Products and Technologies. And they think about projects or products and technologies that might substitute our current core products, that might endanger our business model. In this department, so various ideas are always thrown around and actually actively pursued. So it's not just a monitoring department. And one of the topics, even years ago, was 3D construction printing.
When we build up the printer on a construction site, directly on the site, and we start printing there, that was a moment for me where I realized that we are printing that on site and people will live in there. So that was for me a moment where I really said, wow, that's not just theory and that's not just in a lab, it could happen in real.
The homes were both built with COBOD's modular BOD2 printing system, a flexible platform that can be scaled to suit projects of varying size. The printer needs just 2 operators and takes less than 48 hours to set up on site. Once up and running, the system can print as fast as a meter per second, using data from integrated design models.
There's been a lot of firms around the world that have done this, a lot of research teams have 3D printed buildings over the years, and there's been kind of different levels of excitement around it. Why isn't it widespread? Why isn't this just the way that we build all of our buildings?
3D printing really affects the overall construction process. It has impact on the planning side, execution of the walls, but also on other trades and the planning and permitting. All of these things come into play here. The buildings that we've seen across the globe actually have seen a steady increase in, let's say, validity. So the first ones have been basically kind of big 3D printed flower pots, where all the other trades have been thrown in there, but nobody's really thought about how to integrate it into a full construction process. Maybe sometimes in the news and media it's always been portrayed like everything was perfect, but obviously this has been a steady learning curve, and now we feel that we've hit another milestone where we've now been able to execute these permitted buildings.
What PERI have done in Germany with this building, how is that different to what we've seen before in Dubai, the Netherlands, many kinds of other places?
We wanted to do real-world, architectural scale, permitted residential buildings. So we've done lots and lots of tests to get this German building permit, and we have one of the toughest building codes around, so that's quite a milestone to get these completely normally permitted residential homes, and that's, I think, where the core difference lies.
I have included project partners from the start. We are working directly with a construction company. We're working directly with architects, which don't want just to make a demo project. It's a real project where later people will live in. It's a project where the investors get rents out every month. So it's something which will be used. And the other thing is, I guess, the speed and the size. Now it's actually the biggest 3D printed building in Europe.
PERI also engaged a number of the core trades on these projects, a critical hurdle that few other 3D printed buildings have attempted to cross. With services and other works already coordinated with the structural design, errors on site have been almost completely eradicated, saving time, money and waste material. While the savings may be modest here, they'd soon add up across an entire estate or housing development.
What kind of real-world savings have you seen on this project so far?
There's really this integration of other trades has a huge impact. So we've had the electrician come into one of these buildings and he walks around and says, well, guys, I'll be saving up to like 12 days in here. So we are saving a lot of labor in other trades, because there's in the buildings we're executing, there's not going to be a single slot that has to be cut. Nobody's going to have to drill a hole for a power outlet.
Though the design of these buildings may feel relatively straightforward when compared to some of today's architecture, the team are using the lessons learned to construct larger structures in a variety of forms. With German building certifications now under their belt, the team are planning more projects using different materials and with a focus on further reducing waste. But while there is cause for optimism, we're still some way from the widespread uptake of 3D printing, and several challenges remain, not least breaking into a traditionally conservative industry.
I mean, securing German building certification is a huge step for you guys and a huge step for the world of 3D printing. What kind of other challenges and barriers are there on the way between where we are now and this being the way we build our homes, buildings, offices?
Well, it's a lot about educating people, really, to know, it's a different type of planning a building. It's different for the contractor, it's different for the electrician, it's different all around for everybody involved. So all these trades now have to learn how to cope with this technology and how to make the best of it, not be threatened by it, but to see the potential it can have for these individual trades and make their life easier and make construction more safe and more efficient. There's definitely a spot for all the other conventional construction techniques who are also evolving. So 3D printing will play a very important role. We are convinced of that. But this educational diffusion process into the market will still take some time.
Would you live in a 3D printed house?
Oh, of course. Right away, I'd be all over the design of that. I mean, just having round shapes, which are also way more sustainable than the weird rectangles that we build right now. Definitely, and we've tested all of it, so we know that it's very, very stable.
While the technology has had its challenges, the success of PERI's project in Germany marks a major step forward and will stand as a powerful case study for innovators, rekindling the determination to make this building technique viable at scale. That 3D printed world we've imagined has just moved one huge step closer to becoming real. This video was made possible by PERI. Learn more at the link below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and would like to get more from the definitive video channel for construction, subscribe to the B1M.